This is why song mapping matters. T.I.'s Let 'Em Know has an odd intro. It's not your standard extended 8-bar intro, and this is common with a lot of hip-hop tracks. Today, I'm going to show you how I'd map this, where I'd place my actual hot cues, and how it's different from a DJ intro made for mixing. Let's jump in. Okay, here we go. So on the left side, I've got the original radio edit, and on the right side, I've got an extended version. So we're going to start with the regular one first. So as you can tell, in the very beginning here, we have, and then it comes in here. So I'm going to set 2 hot cues, and in fact, actually, I'm going to turn on my quantize as well. Turn that on. This is going to help us snap to the grid. So when I set hot cues, I want to make sure that they snap to the grid. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see. I want to make sure I'm exactly on the point there. You can see even that first one, I'm just a little ahead of it. So I really want to make sure that that snaps in. So now that I have quantize on, even if I'm here and I hit a hot cue, you'll see it snapped right to the very beginning. So I'll go over the colors in a second. Okay, so really quick. He starts his right. He starts talking or rapping right before the 1. This is actually technically on the 1, 2, 3, which is here, and then the 4. Now I'm going to show you something later as a bonus, so make sure you watch to the end, because I'm going to show you how we can actually use that to our advantage later on, and how this can actually be especially a scratch DJ's really favorite type of record that starts right here on the 4, right before the 1. So anyways, I'm gonna keep going.
Pull over till I'm dead right, ride till the sunrise, can't about no bedtime, ain't gon' get no ride with me, let they fight, better know, from west side Atlanta or the best style, all the way to Crenshaw, I'm out of mind.
We're gonna let this play. We're not mixing out of it yet. Remember, we're trying to figure out where we're gonna get in and where we're gonna get out. So getting in, we've already got 2 points. I could either bring it in from here, or I could bring it in from using the 4 bars. So I could maybe use that first bar, that 1, 2, 3, 4. I could use that, or I could use this this actual 4-bar intro here. I just need to make sure I'm out of it before he starts saying, what is he saying? Waiting for the checker flag. What did he say? Running to the checker flag. Right. So I need to be out of it before he says running. So that, like, when I mix it, I need to be conscious of it. All right. So now let's keep going.
Gotta let them know. I don't turn wrestle, I don't lip box. Solitaires, all I do is big rocks. I came from Dilly Rock, all the way to hit shot. On the throne, then when I'm on, she can kick rock, let her know. My foot up on the gas.
So this now is coming into the chorus.
Rock, let her know. My foot up on the gas.
2,
I'm blowing money fast. Let her know.
3,
I'm on these haters' ass.
4, 2, 3, 4.
Big dog, how we get it.
Okay, so we only have a 4-bar chorus. This also is sometimes common in hip-hop or pop songs where you have only a 4-bar chorus.
I ain't never scared, bitch. Atlanta, no, for I will push and need a count. They call it ballin' with you. They say you need consequences and let them know. On another level, I'm gonna do 200 to show the day. Then when I'm on, she can kick rock, let her know. My foot up on the gas.
So you had a pretty long verse there.
I'm blowing money fast, let her know. I'm on these haters' ass. I know these.
That was 4 bars.
Skateboard P on the track.
So this, by the way, I'm gonna show this here in a moment. But there's another 4-bar chorus. We'll get back to this here in a second. But I now have 2 places to get out. I have the first chorus, which is 4 bars. I have the second chorus, which is also 4 bars. And That's how I could get out of this. I've identified that. Now, I am using my color coding system. I'm going to bring it up here so that you can see it. 4 bars is yellow, so that's why I changed the color to yellow. Now, I'm also going to double click on these and write chorus on them so that I know exactly what they are. I can let them know what they are. This is an instrumental intro. That's 4 bars. And this first one. Okay, so I actually thought that Swiss Beats did this record, but now it all makes sense. So this is a real signature of any type of Pharrell beat. Anything that Pharrell produces has this 4 beat or 1 bar type of intro. In fact, I'm going to list off some of the songs. We're going to list off some of the songs here. I'm not going to play them all right now, but I'm going to list off some of the songs, and I'll show you some of the tracks here that have the same one. And you can check this afterwards and go and check on some of these songs. So Snoop, Drop It Like It's Hot. Kelis, Milkshake, right? Like all these tracks, even Happy, Pharrell Happy. When you listen to the track, this is the beginning of a track that has been produced by Pharrell. It has this dun, 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 and then the song starts. So there's ways that we can use that in our intro. There's also really cool things that we can do here where we could take this and actually make a loop. Right, this is just basically like an infinite loop. We could use that as a way of mixing in or out. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave this loop, and I'm going to go down to my loop section inside of Serato, and I'm going to save this. And I'm going to save this as just a 4-beat intro loop. Now, I'm going to also lock that. Now I can recall that anytime I want. And in terms of how I would color code this, I'm going to make this now green. So green in my system means there's a loop there. And I can trigger this loop on and off however I wish. So I don't always have to use the loop, but I could use it if I want to. So this is really important to be able to have like pre-saved loops. So I'm not doing this loop on the fly. I've set this up ahead of time where I've got it in there. Now, something else that I just kind of wanted to point out is sometimes with hip hop songs, you maybe also are looking for a place to get out of the song using wordplay. So there's hip hop songs tend to be very clever, like in the lyrical content. So sometimes there's a reference to something. Like for instance, I heard this earlier. Okay, so Skateboard P on the track. Skateboard P is the nickname for Pharrell. Skateboard P on the track. So I could potentially use this as a place to loop and mix out of. Skateboard P on the track. Skateboard P on the track. Skateboard P on the track. Right, and I could drop into Drop It Like It's Hot here. Dun da dun da dun da dun. Right, like I could go there, and even though it's a different BPM, like that's a creative way for me to mix out of this. I could also use stem separation here to be able to get it even cleaner, where it would now be Skateboard P on the track. 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 Right, and then be able to drop into Drop It Like It's Hot, or drop into Happy or something like that, right? Any track that he produced like that. So another creative way to do that. Now, if I wanted to save this as another loop, I do the same thing as I showed you before. I now have the loop set. I'm now hit plus on this, and this is Skateboard P on the track, right? So I could use that. I could save that as a loop here. Let me go back to this. And I'm going to set up also a hotkey here. I'm going to make that green as well. I can also write this here, Skateboard P. So I've got some different creative ways that I can use to be able to mix out of this. And again, this is where it's a little bit different with hip hop. Now, in this case, I do have this. But before I ended this video, I did want to show you one more thing. So before I end this video, I do want to show you one more thing. I am going to take a look at the intro version, which I actually downloaded from a record pool. And in this version, I want us to hear what the difference is with the track. And then I did promise you that I would show you something cool that we could do with this. Besides, I showed you something cool here with wordplay, but I've got one more thing I'm going to show you too that's very cool. So, all right, let's go back to this so you can see this. In this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this was made by a DJ, editor, producer. And then check this out. So the run into still happens before the 1. So we still have our 8 bars. Or in this case, sorry, we now have an 8-bar intro. And then in this case, I would set one halfway through the intro. So I'm going to go halfway through the intro. I'm going to set a yellow point there. So let's go ahead and make that yellow. And this is halfway through. And then we still have this where it ends right before. We still need to get out of it early because this is right here. And you can see. Okay, so now I'm going to show you something cool with this. You ready for something cool? Like now, the rest of it probably is the same, except for the outro for this one. So actually, let me just check that. I'm like very excited to show you something, but let me check the. I don't think they've extended the chorus. Let's find out. Looks like it's 4 bars. And I can tell by looking at the waveform. Same. So this would be also yellow. This is the chorus, right? So all of that is the same. But now I want to show you something cool. Can I show you something cool? All right, let me stand up and so I can properly do this. So proper practice makes progress. We talk about that all the time. So let me actually get this set up right for you. So let me do this. All right, so I'm going to get my controller. I'm using the DDJ-FLX4, by the way, today. Let me make sure I've got that set up. Okay, cool. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to show you. We're going to use this track as, I'm going to isolate the, just the instrumental on this track. So I changed this out. I'm going to treat this as if it was just instrumental. And that's just plain. So what used to happen back in the day with radio is before there were extended intros like this, DJs would actually make the extended intros by using the instrumental version of the track and then queuing it up to the regular version of the track and then dropping the track in. In fact, that's how you hear sometimes on hip hop radio that's still being done, where the instrumental comes in and then you've got a DJ who's like queuing up the actual song, right? Instrumental's playing. Whoever the host is talking. Make sure you dial in right now. We are giving away T.I. tickets. We've only got 4 left, and I need you to name T.I.'s first top single that he had when he came out. Make sure to hit the phone lines here. Call blah, 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 right? Like, that's what's happening. And then as a DJ, you need to be ready to then be able to bring this in. And then somebody's like, all right, let's get back to it. And so you could bring this in from here. Right, you can bring it in from there. So what I did is I lined that up with the last 4 beats of the phrase. And I lined that up with the last 4 beats of the phrase in order to get that to fit. Now that's one way to do this, is off of that. That's how we would use that dun, 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 and now we're in, right? But another way that we could do this is we could cue up to the run-in. This is great also for a cold start. Right, we could use this. Okay, so we can use this. We're going to use that run-in. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to line this up so that it happens on 1, 2, 3, run into the right? So we're going to try to cue that up. Now, this takes practice. This does take practice. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and set this on a loop. Set this up on an actual... This is a 4-bar loop running, right? Like you're trying to figure out where to bring this in, right? So let me go ahead and also set a hot cue here. All right, that's where it should come in. Hold on. Right, that's where it should land. So in this way, I'm using the scratch to be able to drop this in, to be able to get the timing to still land right. Now, it takes a little bit of practice to be able to line this up right, because you still need to pay attention to where the 1 is. So your rhythm is really important here. But that's a little bit of a bonus for you. Have some fun with that. Hopefully this helped understanding how to map this song out. If you need anything, if you have any questions, please make sure to put comments below. If there's something else you'd want me to map out, let me know that too. Let them know. Let them know. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you like this video. It helps us out with the algorithm and all of that. And also subscribe to the channel. We've got more content that is constantly coming out on this channel. And if you are interested in being able to take your next step in your DJ journey, and you want to figure out how to do that, you can always make sure to reach out to us. We're going to go ahead and put a contact inside of the video description below. And if you like this, you'll probably like this one as well. We'll see you on the next one.